All right, let's start with our calendar review. First test of second semester. I hope you good luck. It should be really easy as long as you paid attention in class in this review guide. Let's go ahead and dip dive. A is talking about this river that flows from Great Lakes all the way up to this area right here. The answer will be the St. Lawrence River. We'll just write St. Law. All right, B. B is this on the north of Canada. Yep, the answer is Hudson Bay. And C, the answer is Atlantic Ocean. Let's not waste time in the two oceans, of course. We should know Atlantic Ocean and D, Pacific Ocean. And then now we go to E. E, we're talking about this lake on the southern of Canada and also north of America, the border of Canada and United States. Very important when it comes to trading, of course. The name is Great Lakes. F is talking about a rich mineral fill, fertile, arable, great land for Canadian, very important for their, GDP and their economy. Is Canadian Shield. G. G is talking about a fellow mountain that goes from north of Canada and all the way to midwest of United States. A lot of you guys say you guys have seen it before. That would be Rocky Mountain. H, we're talking about provinces, which we also talked about in history of Canada. When it came to independence movement, the answer is Quebec. Whoops. Quebec. I, we're talking about where the capital of Canada is, which is not Toronto, Ottawa, and province name is Ontario. All right. Hope you guys memorize this political physical future. If you need time, pause and look at the map again. Again, that's St. Lawrence River, Hudson Bay, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Rocky Mountain, Canadian Shield, Ontario, Quebec, and Great Lakes. All right, now, why do most people in Canada live in a southern region? It is because climate is warmer and it is way better for living. And of course, it is also because it is close to the US and it really gives that economic opportunity for trading. Again, most people live in Canada in the southern region because it is close to US and it is warmer. It's close to US, it's good for trade. Now, let's talk about natural resource and economy. When we talk about natural resources, you need to understand oil and gas is very important because of the fact that it export to US and that will increase the GDP. We talked about how GDP is a amount of money that a country make in that year, basically like their income. Forestry, lumber, and paper is very important. Make sure you understand lumber is huge in Canada. It is a major industry along the Canadian Shield and British Columbia. Of course, export all around the world and it increased their GDP. Fishing, very important, especially when they have the two coastal ocean and the eastern they have the Atlantic Ocean, and in the Western, they have the Pacific Ocean. That is very important because it helps them trade that. Now, what type of economy does Canada have? Canada has mixed economy, which combines government regulation with private businesses. Very important. It combines government regulation with private businesses. What that means is private business. You guys can make job entrepreneurship promotes entrepreneurship in a way that, listen, as long as it's safe and what you guys are doing is going to help the country's GDP, we'll let you have it. So Canada is one of the country that is mixed economy by leaning more into that market. Now, specialization, we talked about how it is one thing that somebody special, one thing somebody's good at and they just keep being good at it. And because of that skill, they excel at it and it's easy for them. So, for example, it's focusing on producing goods country is best at making because it makes it efficient and easy to trade. When it comes to Canada, they specialize in lumber, fish, and wheat. Again, they specialize in lumber, fish, and wheat. Who is Canada's largest trading partner? United States, of course, because they're in the southern border. And of course, also, yes, because they have USMCA. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to talk about tariff embargo and all that when we come back to school. But now, government and citizenship. What type of government does Canada have? Canada has a parliamentary democracy because of their history behind Britain, United Kingdom. How do citizens participate in Canada's government? Because they vote for members of parliament, not directly for prime minister. Again, they vote for members of parliament. The citizen of Canada does not get to choose prime minister. They get to choose the parliament, and then they are going to get the majority voter and make that a prime minister. But again, citizen does not directly vote for prime minister. Nine, how does Canada's constitutional monarchy impact the government and what is the role of the governor general? Constitutional monarchy is a celebrity, it's a celebratory role. It's they are a head of government, they barely have any power. But now when it comes to governor general, they're the one that basically represent the king and queen. They don't live in Canada, so they need a person that represent their needs and their ceremonial duty. That will be the governor general. I hope it's not too bad so far. Most of these things are, you know, prior learning things. We learned about this before. How's the Prime Minister of Canada chosen compared to US President? In US, we vote for the president. We directly vote for the president. In Canada, they do not vote for their chief of executive. They vote for the parliament, which then will decide the prime minister. But in United States, we directly elect the president. Now, what is the purpose of USMCA and how did it replace NAFTA? USMCA was made to encourage free trade between United States, Mexico, and Canada. And of course, a lot of you guys did great making that connection with EU, European Union. It is very similar. It was replaced. So USMCA is what replaced NAFTA, which was North American Free Trade Agreement. Um, it was replaced to modernize more of a trade rules and address digital trade and labor rights and environmental. So making it more, 2020-ish rather than when we first made NAFTA. Now, when it comes to environmental issue of Canada, we're talking about acid rain. The cause is burning of fossil fuel, factory, cars, power plant. The effect, of course, it damages the forest, lakes, and building becomes rusty. When it comes to over extraction in Canadian Shield, what is it and why is it a problem? So when we're talking about over extraction, extracting is taking it out. We talked about how language is important. Taking out. If you're taking out way too much, you're going to, of course, hurt a lot of things. When it comes to Canadian Shield, it leads to environmental damage, loss of resource, and pollution of water resources. That is the effect of over extraction. Solution, we talked about how we need to stop over extracting. Some parts are now government owned where they say, yo, you cannot mine here. Or they use even, modern technology to make sure that there's something before they mine and realize, well, there's nothing in this land. No, we have modern technology now to basically tell us, is our mineral in this ground or is there not? So they use more of a modern utilized programs. Now, when it comes to economic growth and trade, why does international trade require currency exchange? We talked about how when we move or go to different country for traveling, we need to change currency. If you go to Korea and you give me peso, they're going to be like, bro, what is this? I don't know what this is. You need to use the currency of the country. If you go to Korea, you change it to won so that they understand that, oh, this is what you want, like the currency. Just like how United States, we use dollar. In Canada, they also use dollar, but it's Canadian dollar. It's a different type of dollar. So all this, when you go to different country, you need to change currency. It makes it smoother for trading, and of course, it encourages international trade. Which trade barrier is a tax on imported good? Tariff. That is like, okay, there's a soccer ball coming from Italy. We're going to put tariff on all Italy goods. So when that soccer ball come to United States, instead of being $100 because we put 25% tariff, it's now $125. And that is technically, in a theory, it is good because it's supposed to encourage more of a American goods. It's supposed to say, okay, Italy, that soccer ball is way too expensive. We need to get the American soccer ball. It's made from here. It is legit. We should get the American soccer ball. So tariff, it put tax on imported good, and it basically forces people to buy more of a American goods. Now, list a four factor of economic growth and give an example of each. Human capital is education and training. Like, for example, what you guys are doing right now, getting education, and you go to high school, and then you go to college and get that higher education. That is investment in human capital of education. Capital goods is like technology and machinery, where you have tech like computer is your capital goods. Machines that makes your life easier. Those are all capital goods, man-made goods. Natural resource, very easy. We're talking about land, oil, water, tree, things that come from nature that you just get it. It's from nature, it's from the land. Entrepreneurship is when people start business. And of course, this helps because it increases GDP. When it comes to literacy rate and standard of living, why is it related and how does literacy rate affect countries' economy? It is very important that you know higher investment in human capital, which is education and training, will lead to a higher literacy rate, which means you're going to have higher skilled workers, which will increase higher wages and it will increase GDP. Again, if you get educated, you go to college and you have high literacy rate, you have more and better understanding of certain things. That means we're going to have more of a skilled worker. And that's also going to say that we're going to make more money because we're going to now be more efficient. We're going to be smarter, we're going to be more dominant. That's why education is very important because it leads to a higher literacy rate, which increase the GDP. Now, I don't know why it skipped 18, but let's go to political cartoon of Quebec independence movement. Again, political cartoon of Quebec independence movement. We're talking about how Canada, Quebec, they said, believe me, jumping up and down isn't going to make things any better. And in Quebec, they say, ces gens qui parlent anglais me rendent fou, allons manger et croissant plus tard. They said basically, dumb people that speak English is making us crazy. Let's go eat croissant. Anyway, horrible, horrible political cartoon. I don't know who made this. Horrible. Anyway, that is basically showing how Canada is trying to separate the two because of the cultural difference. One speaking English, Anglophone Quebeciers, and also just general Canada in general, English speaking. And of course, French speaking Quebecy, Quebecy that speak French, Francophone. They do not want to associate themselves with Anglophone Canadian or Anglophone Quebecies. So, of course, that is showing how Quebec want to be independence due to cultural differences. That was it. I don't even know how long we went. I don't think it was that long. Hope you guys review. Hope you guys do good. There's no retest for this test, so I know you will kill it as long as you watch this video. Or, I mean, in general, a lot of you guys pay attention. Good luck. See y'all soon.